So there's a few different disciplines of amateur wrestling, Greco-Roman and freestyle. Freestyle being the one I take part in as it's the only one open to women. I've always wanted to do some sort of martial art, but they do have a reputation for being really expensive when you consider things like gradings and so on. The wrestling club which we found was originally an idea for my little brother to go to because I did all sorts of clubs as a kid, but I thought, well, since I've got this interest in martial arts, I'll give wrestling a try. I first started to compete in wrestling a year after I joined the club. My first tournament was just a wee local one in Edinburgh, and unfortunately though, with the lack of female wrestlers in the country, in my very first competition I got a walkover as there was no one else in my weight category. The most recent tournament for me was just at the tail end of last year. It was the British Seniors, which was my first British Championships as a senior athlete, and I was really pleased that I managed to come away with a win at that one. Something that's recently been added to the British Wrestling programme is a senior GB squad. The aim of this squad is the sort of motto "Build for Birmingham", which is going to be the host city of the next Commonwealth Games. We've got the 4 countries currently working together to build the athletes, and then in the final year before the Games we'll split back off to our home nations for more intensive training. There's a huge mix of training required in wrestling. Personally, when I'm at the club twice a week, that's got a wee bit of cardio, obviously, to get you warmed up and so, and also that's where you focus mostly on your technique. And then over and above that, you would have strength and conditioning sessions, and also simple cardio things like going for a run, just to build you as a well-rounded athlete. So personally for me, I have had to take a tiny bit of a back step with wrestling to focus a bit more on university, and thankfully though there are great coaches and great teams that support me in that, and I know that I'll always be able to go back to that high level that was available to me just a few months ago. I think that wrestling's had a pretty big impact on my life, mainly from obviously a physical point of view. I am way stronger than I would have been without it, and also it's a good way to teach myself some discipline as well, because obviously you have to be quite focused and quite driven to do well. One aspect of wrestling which I think could be improved on is trying to encourage more women to take up the sport. As I've mentioned, there's many competitions I've been to where I've not gotten a match or possibly only had one match. When you're travelling long distances, sometimes right down to the south of England, it leaves you really disheartened. There are so many schemes already running, like Disc-a-do Can, for example, is the first one to come to mind, and they have done good work so far, but I think you can always do more. The advice I would give to someone who's just started wrestling is don't get disheartened too easily, because it can look really difficult from an outsider's point of view, and when you've maybe only got a couple of techniques under your belt, you can get caught out really easy, but you really need to just use it more as an opportunity to focus and to improve.